And what I love is you hear the chatter out there, people talking among themselves, encouraging them to sort of keep it going, encouraging him to stay with them. And here it comes. I mean, we're coming up now to one lap to go as to whether history can be made. And this is where it's really important to talk about the fact that in the London Marathon, he's run sub 440 miles in the last 2 miles, because that's what he's facing now, is having to deliver those kind of performances as he comes up to this last lap.
And you could hear the cheers from those remaining pacers there at the tent. They were screaming at the top of their lungs for him.
Everyone here is very invested, and especially these men pacing, these athletes, they feel as much a part of it as anyone. They're very much invested. They want to say that they helped this effort today and have dreams come true.
I have those butterflies.
For sure.
My skin is starting to stand up, and I can feel it all throughout my body as we are knocking on the door of history here in our last lap.
But reality is setting in. He's now at 2 hours, 19 seconds expected time, and he's going to have to deliver an Eliud Kipchoge kind of finish. He has been a finisher in his career, whether it was his track career where he won that sort of groundbreaking 5,000-meter victory at the World Championships as an 18-year-old, showing incredible speed at the finish, or his marathon victories where he always finishes with a flourish. He always has something something left. But imagine the strain at this point, having gotten this far and having less than 2.4 kilometers to go. What he's got to rally and pull together.
As you see here, he still looks very collected, but every now and then you see a little bit of a wince, and I'm wondering if he's feeling like he can pull together a big last effort in the last lap here.
He's expressed his love for the marathon, and he says that marathon is life. It's a big journey every time you run it. And he says you feel a lot of pain, but you think a lot of things to get past that pain. And when talking about this attempt, he said the gap is psychological, and clearly it's not only psychological at this point, but he's going to need to use his brain to will himself physically to stay with these guys and to get to that two-hour barrier.
How hard is it to dig deep for that extra more at a time like this?
It's exceptionally hard. I've had my coach before say, Shalane, why can't you just dig a little deeper? Come on, it's there. But there are limitations to the human body. But the mind, this is the crucial time where it has to override those signals, where the legs are saying, please slow down. And it's hard to ignore when your body is telling you that it does not want to move faster. But knowing that he has about 5 minutes left of running, that's what I do. I break it down into how many minutes I have. And so if he looks up at the clock and he says, okay, I've only got 5 minutes of running, Eliud, you can do this, and think back to his training and all the tough moments that he's gotten through. This is the crucial time to use, draw from experience, and he's been put in this situation many times, and he has come through with huge performances. So right now, you see his eyes getting bigger. He's taking his last bit of fluid, I imagine, right here, and hopefully, sometimes when you take the last little bit of fluid, you get a little energy surge. You get the sugars in your mouth, and you can almost rally and feel a little bit better after taking some of those fluids. So.
Well, this is incredible. It's down to 4 minutes now, or less than 4 minutes of running. You talked about this, and people wrote about it. People literally wrote a book about it. And here it is. It's within his grasp. And as you say, occasional grimace, almost an occasional smile on his face. He's still in that Zen state. You know, I wondered if the fact that it was not competitive would make a difference. This guy, among everything else that he is as a great athlete, is a fantastic competitor. And the fact that it was running for a barrier, not running to win, would that make a difference? But he seems to still be competing out there. And that's why I still think the possibility, as he's now slipped to 2 hours and 23 seconds for the projected finish time, I think it's still possible because this is a guy who has finished time and time again with great speed.
And you can see those different moments in his face where you, as you mentioned before, sometimes a grimace, and then all of a sudden it looks like a calm smile in the midst of the fire.
And looking at his leg turnover, I mean, that's perfection right there. He's graceful and beautiful. Even though he's hurting so bad, his form is not breaking down. It really is a beautiful piece of artwork to watch him run. You can see the Pacers turning around, cheering him on, very much invested in this.
You know, he'll see the finish line from quite a distance when he comes around the turn, and that's when, you know, his natural tendency to finish will come into play. I don't know if there's enough room left to make up what is the distance that he'll have to make up, and now he's about 27 seconds over the projected finish time or the goal of 2 hours. But when he looks up and sees the finish, you have to think that there'll be a spring in his step.
When we arrived here this morning, it was in the hopes of witnessing what was possible. What is possible when you take an idea of a barrier that has not been crossed before? What is possible if you just give it a try?
And he now can see the finish line, and you saw them pointing, encouraging him, everyone alongside, urging him on. In a way, it's a victory lap because what he's achieved is extraordinary.
2 years in the making on this journey. He started as 3 with Lalisa de Sisa and Zersine Tadesse. And now Eliud Kipchoge with the Pacers still encouraging him to dig deep.
And he's trying to sprint here, which is incredible.
You can see him go to his arms, pulling him up higher. I call them the sprint hands. This is as much of a sprint as anything right here that you'll see on the track.
An extraordinary effort.
He still looks so incredible. I can't even fathom right now. And holding the finish line tape is Joan Benoit Samuelson and Allison Felix.
Both of them barrier breakers in their own right.
Yes.
And there's the smile.
And he's still jogging.
The intensity in his face in that sprint. I'll never forget that.
His final time is 2 hours and 24 seconds.
Today we found out what else is possible.
Yeah, the official world record 2:02:57. This will not count for record purposes, but what it did do was show humans what is possible.